The winter of 2022-2023 was a season of extremes, unforgettable for millions. From coast to coast we saw record-breaking snow-berry cities and relentless rainstorms end years of drought. This wasn't just a cold winter, it was a relentless onslaught, a true test of resilience. What set this winter apart was its intensity and persistence, not one but a series of historic storms. Buffalo, New York, was paralyzed by two devastating snowstorms, while California faced a barrage of atmospheric rivers. These storms filled empty reservoirs and reshaped landscapes. In Buffalo, people were trapped for days, emergency crews struggled, and the city ground to a halt. In California, communities shifted from wildfire fears to battling floods and mudslides. Roads vanished, towns were isolated, and millions felt the impact. Behind it all was a powerful climate pattern, La Niña. This rare triple-dip La Niña supercharged the atmosphere, fueling the chaos. It bent the jet stream, setting the stage for massive snowstorms and relentless rain. Understanding La Niña is key to understanding why this winter was so extraordinary. The events of 2022-2023 left a permanent mark, on the land and in our memories. It was a winter that redefined what's possible, and it all began with a single, historic storm. The first major blow struck Buffalo, New York in mid-November, before Thanksgiving. A classic lake-effect snowstorm, but on a scale rarely seen. Cold Arctic air swept over a warm Lake Erie, creating a narrow, intense band of snow. The National Weather Service warned of 4 to 6 feet, no typo. Officials declared a state of emergency before the first flake fell. Thundersnow lit up the sky as snow piled up at a staggering rate. Orchard Park saw 66 inches in 24 hours, nearby Hamburg, 81 inches, almost 7 feet. Snowplows couldn't keep up, highways shut down, cars and trucks vanished beneath drifts. Travel became impossible, people were stranded at home, work, or in their vehicles. Even the NFL was forced to move the Buffalo Bills' home game to Detroit. This storm didn't just disrupt, it stopped a city in its tracks. Emergency responders faced impossible conditions. The storm's impact was felt far beyond Buffalo. It was a reminder of how quickly nature can overwhelm even the best preparations. The November storm set the tone for a winter of relentless extremes. For Buffalo, it was only the beginning. The city braced for what would come next. The snow and the danger weren't over. The region would soon face an even greater test. Winter had only just begun. As Buffalo dug out, another monster storm arrived just before Christmas. A true blizzard, driven by an Arctic bomb cyclone. This storm brought heavy snow, hurricane-force winds, and deadly cold. It became Buffalo's deadliest storm in nearly 50 years. Winds gusted over 79 mph, creating zero-visibility whiteouts for 37 straight hours. A city record. People were trapped in cars and homes, blind to the world outside. Temperatures plunged to 4°C, with wind chills as low as 30°C. Frostbite threatened exposed skin in minutes. Even emergency crews became victims, abandoning vehicles as rescue became impossible. Over 40 lives were lost in Erie County, some in stranded cars, others in powerless homes. More than 100 people had to be rescued on the first night alone. The city was paralyzed, its streets impassable, its people isolated. This was more than a storm, it was a catastrophe. The blizzard left a deep scar on Buffalo, a stark reminder of nature's power. The community's resilience was tested as never before. The storm's legacy would last long after the snow melted. Buffalo's winter was far from over. The city would never forget the Christmas blizzard of 2022. It was a defining moment in a historic winter. The lessons learned would shape how the city prepares for storms to come. Nature had delivered its harshest blow. While the east was buried in snow, California was drenched by relentless atmospheric rivers. These rivers in the sky carried vast amounts of moisture from the tropics, slamming into the state. January 2023 saw storm after storm, causing rivers to overflow and levees to break. Flooding was widespread. Mudslides threatened areas scarred by wildfires. Roads and highways, including Interstate 80 over Donner Pass, were repeatedly shut down. Streets turned to rivers. Drainage systems were overwhelmed, and daily life was upended. For 2 decades, California had suffered a historic mega-drought. Reservoirs shrank, farmers struggled, and cities imposed strict water limits. Then, in a matter of weeks, the storms brought dramatic relief. The drought was effectively ended, but not without new dangers. The deluge was both destructive and life-saving. California went from desperate for water to battling too much, too fast. The state's landscape and water future were transformed. The storm's impact would be felt for years. The winter of 2022-2023 was a turning point. California's relationship with water and weather was forever changed. The atmospheric rivers had rewritten the state's story, and the snow was still to come. The atmospheric rivers didn't just bring rain, they buried the Sierra Nevada in record snow. By January's end, the snowpack was 200% of average, transforming the mountains into a winter wonderland. March brought another barrage. Some areas received 100 inches in just 4 days. Snow piles reached over 20 feet, burying homes, cars, and roads. For the northern Sierra, it was the second deepest snowpack ever recorded. The weight and volume of snow created massive challenges for transportation and infrastructure. Union Pacific had to deploy its giant rotary snowplow, used only in the most extreme winters. The snowpack became a frozen reservoir, refilling depleted lakes like Oroville. By April, the drought emergency was officially over. But as spring arrived, melting snow caused major flooding in the Central Valley. Tulare Lake, dry for decades, reappeared as a vast inland sea. The Sierra's snow reshaped California's water future. The winter's legacy was both relief and new risk. The mountains had never seen a season quite like it. The story of 2022-2023 was written in snow, and its effects would last long after the thaw. What powered this wild winter? The answer: La Niña. La Niña is a cooling of Pacific waters near the equator, shifting the jet stream and fueling extremes. The 2022-2023 La Niña was a rare triple dip, lasting 3 years and amplifying its effects. It bent the jet stream north, setting up cold air plunges and storm after storm. This pattern fueled Buffalo's blizzards and California's atmospheric rivers. La Niña's reach was global, but its impact on the U.S. was historic. A single ocean pattern triggered blizzards in the east and floods in the west. The winter proved how interconnected our climate truly is. A change in the Pacific can rewrite weather across a continent. Now, in October 2025, La Niña is back. Scientists confirm a new, but weaker, La Niña has developed in the Pacific. This time the cooling is less dramatic, its influence less predictable. Typically La Niña brings wetter, cooler conditions to the north, drier, warmer weather to the south. But this year's weak La Niña means more uncertainty. The historic winter of 2022-2023 was driven by a strong, persistent pattern. Now, other factors could play a bigger role. The forecast is more challenging, with less clarity on where extremes will hit. We have the main ingredient, but the recipe has changed. The coming winter could surprise us all. This year, there's a new wildcard, a massive marine heat wave in the northern Pacific. This huge pool of warm water stretches from Japan to the U.S. west coast. Like La Niña, it can shift air pressure and the jet stream, but in unpredictable ways. The marine heat wave could strengthen high pressure over the west, bringing drier conditions, or add moisture to storms, fueling intense rainfall. Its combination with a weak La Niña is rare and complex. Meteorologists are in uncharted territory, relying on models and experience. The heat wave could reshape temperature and precipitation patterns nationwide. Its influence will be one of the biggest stories this winter. The Pacific's warmth is a powerful, unpredictable force. The outcome? No one knows for sure. So, what does this mean for you? Prepare for surprises. A weak La Niña and a powerful marine heat wave create uncertainty and potential for extremes. Stay alert. Forecasts can change quickly, and storm tracks may shift with little warning. Make sure you have reliable weather alerts and emergency supplies at home and in your car. Insulate your home, check your tires, and keep a winter kit ready. Every storm is different. Don't assume the next will be like the last. Respect the power of nature and listen to local officials. The winter of 2022-2023 taught us to expect the unexpected. By staying informed and prepared, we can weather whatever comes. This winter, resilience and readiness are our best defense.